welcome to Health Live at Seniors Today. It's that time of the year when we are getting close to the end of the year. We are uh, on December 23rd. And as it happens, this is our last health webinar show of the year, of the calendar year. We don't have a session next week on the 30th, and we'll be back only on Jan 6th. And we thought it would be a good idea to have a session, those of you who've been attending our sessions in the past, you do know that around festivals, we do look at having a session with a dietitian, because all of us like to indulge a bit, and we thought it would be a good idea to have uh, uh, a dietitian in the house and who would talk to us about various issues concerning seniors. So we welcome Ms. Jill Parekh, who is a senior dietitian, a nutritionist, and a certified diabetes educator. She's based in Mumbai. Before we start speaking with her, I will introduce her. She's, as I mentioned, a well-known senior dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes educator based in Mumbai with expertise in clinical nutrition, renal nutrition, weight management, and diabetic diet. She is skilled in designing and implementing personal nutrition plans to meet the diverse needs of clients, including celebrities, college and school students, working professionals, teens, models, pregnant moms, patients with kidney diseases, and I'm sure, of course, senior citizens. Dr. Parekh is well known for educating and motivating clients to make positive lifelong eating and exercise behavior changes. She is proficient in various nutrition tracking software and electronic medical record systems. Oh, these things are exceedingly important these days because everything is works on apps and online, as we have been doing since we started out in June 20, our health webinars, and we started with Seniors Today in July 2019. So welcome to Health Live at Seniors Today. Jill, how have you been?
Hi, good evening. I'm good. In fact, I'm excited about today's talk, and I'm excited about giving a little bit from my end to the attendees and explaining to them how can we make aging with care for kidney in terms of diet, the diet perspective of it. Yes.
Absolutely. Tell me, I want to ask you this. It's a naughty question, but I want to ask you. You know, you give advice to scores of people who come to you for diet advice and what kind of nutrition they should have, etc. Um, how many of them actually follow your advice to the T?
I would say only a handful few. What so happens is you're so motivated at the beginning of it, and then as the time passes on, you just forget about it. But there are the ones who really follow, know how it works for them and how it gives them the results that they need to have. So I would say about at least 50% would be following what is being told to them till the end of their time, maybe.
Absolutely. 50% is a very heartening number. The other day I was speaking to someone and he mentioned that, the entire business model of health clubs and gyms, etc., is that 75% of people pay up and they don't attend. So, but 50% is a very heartening number. So that's good. And the fact that people follow the instructions that you give them. Of course, the fact also is that they are coming to you with a specific ailment, and they want to take corrective measures and have that attended to. So over to you for your presentation. As always, the our guest in the house will make a presentation. Jill Parekh is a certified dietitian and a diabetes educator, and has been dealing with a lot of renal and diabetes patients over the years. And we would request her to make a presentation. Those of you who have questions, please, as always, put them in the attendee in the Q&A tab, and mention your age and your gender so that she may be able to give you a little more focused advice. Over to you.
Okay, I will be sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. Thank you.
So, as Mr. Maheshwari has already introduced with, I am Jill, and I will be here talking to you all about healthy aging with diet care for kidneys. And this is not only about kidneys, it is also about a lot of other things involved in the kidney factor. And I would like to talk about understanding first as to what are kidneys and why do they really matter. So, to start with, kidneys are some of the most important organs in our body and the most hardworking ones. And we only have two of them. So, we have to be really careful about how we take care of them and how we uh, use them and what are they used for. So first of all, they are used for filtering the waste products and toxins from our blood to keep us healthy. You can think of them as a water purifier wherein the clean water comes in and the toxins move out. So that's about the kidneys. And strong kidneys mean strong you, full of energy and vitality. If your kidneys are strong, they'll be able to help you to be healthier and lead a better quality of life. And that's what it is all about. Uh, I'm sure most of you all here today are above 50, and this question really comes to me from a lot of my young patients as to when I age, would my kidneys also age with me and would they start deteriorating as we age? Now, that's a question which is kind of interesting that yes, our kidneys do change as we age, but that does not mean that they have to be unhealthy. What it really means is when it changes as we age, it can still be healthy with us. And with right care, like a good diet, a good exercise regime, and a good lifestyle basically can help us be friends with our kidneys forever. So let's explore how to make our kidneys better. Let's explore how to do things in our lifestyle that can make our kidneys happier and like I said, friends for life. So now hypertension. Why have I mentioned hypertension in the third slide? Is it that really important? Yes, it is. Hypertension is one of the most leading causes for kidney problems in today's age. That can be anywhere in the world, doesn't need to be in India or in Mumbai. Uh, High blood pressure levels can definitely put a strain on your kidneys and make them work extra, causing them to, of course, deteriorate further. But that does not mean that, those of you who have hypertension does not mean that you have to be scared thinking that, acha, you will experience kidney failure. That's not how it works. Managing hypertension becomes really important. Managing your blood pressure levels in the right range with the help of medications, with the help of diet, and with the help of lifestyle changes can really help. And like it's mentioned here, a healthy diet is your secret weapon to high blood pressure levels. What can we do to ensure our blood pressures are under control? Limiting salt intake. As Indians, one of the most important things for us to do is limit our salt intake. We are very heavy in terms of our salt intake levels, and we generally tend to overdo a lot in the salt part. We tend to eat a lot of namkeens, we tend to eat a lot of papad, achar. I'm sure most of you agree with me that we tend to eat a lot of salt. We need to limit our salt intake to about 4 to 5 grams in 24 hours. Yes, that's how much we really need in a day. We do not need anything more than that. 4 to 5 grams of salt, and that should be fine. You can very easily measure this with the help of a teaspoon, and one level teaspoon is roughly about 4 grams of salt, and that's how much you need in 24 hours. Along with salt restriction, you should also really focus on eating healthy, eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, and that should really help control our blood pressure levels. What is also important is to take lesser amounts of stress, move more, and relax. Exercising is also something that is very important to help lower the burden on our kidneys, the blood pressure burden on our kidneys. The next thing that I would like to talk about is diabetes. Uh, in the comments section, you can let me know how many of y'all are really experiencing diabetes and or know somebody who's experiencing diabetes. Uncontrolled diabetes is what I'm talking about. Most of us uh, most of us know of somebody who is experiencing uncontrolled diabetes, and it's really difficult to manage if your diabetes is uncontrolled. And managing your diabetes is also equally important. So like I said in my previous slide, that hypertension is one of the leading causes for kidney failures and kidney related problems in human population in general. Diabetes follows suit. Diabetes is just second in number, and we need to make our choices really smartly in terms of dealing with our diabetes. What can be done? Diabetes definitely affects your kidney, but that does not mean that with diabetes you cannot lead a healthy life, you cannot have healthy kidneys. How do you make your diabetes your friend? One is eating healthy. That's something that I will be speaking in every slide. I feel eating healthy, focusing more on that, and including healthy fats like nuts, avocado, omega-3 fishes if you're a non-vegetarian. Eating healthy fats is really, really important. And along with that, focusing more on preferring whole grains like whole wheat or brown rice or just whole grains, millets in general, would really help us control our diabetes better, would really help us manage our diabetes better. Refined flour, refined products, that is including anything and everything that is refined sugar, refined anything, is going to be dangerous, will definitely spike up your blood sugar levels. Something that we really need to be careful about, really need to start avoiding if you are not already by now. The other thing is we are very heavy on drinking sugary beverages, eating sweets. India is the diabetes capital. Eating mithai, eating sweets. So, sweets, sugars, and sugary drinks act like bombs on your kidneys, which would definitely cause your kidneys to deteriorate and definitely cause your kidneys or you to experience all the other symptoms of kidney related problems. So, eating well, exercising enough, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle becomes really important when we are dealing with diabetes. Now, a question that generally arises here is, I start to feel very nauseous and I start craving a lot of sweets. This is something that I get a lot from a lot of my patients. When I am a diabetic and I need to eat something sweet after every meal. I'm sure most of you also experience this along with other patients that I see. What you can do here is, instead of eating a sweet that is loaded with sugar, you can very easily consume one small little piece of jaggery or one date, and that should do just fine for you. Or eating something made out of milk, that will give you the lactose, and it will also help you release sugars very slowly in your body. Eating well, eating a balanced meal becomes really important here. So managing your sugars is absolutely one of the most important things that you need to do. Focusing on vegetables, fruits, and basically the rainbows of our diet. You must have heard this a lot. Rainbow plate, making your plate rainbow in color. That's really important. And why is so? Because vegetables and fruits are the major source of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and all the goodness, of course, fiber in our diet. Uh, Fiber really helps control our blood pressure levels, also helps control our diabetes. We've already learned before that uncontrolled diabetes and uncontrolled blood pressure levels can definitely cause kidney related problems, and we do not want that in our lives. Vegetables and fruits are your personal cheerleaders. Certain colors, there's something called as polyphenols in the diet. These the colors of your fruit are not there just for the sake of it. They're there because they provide something. For example, red vegetables like tomatoes and carrots and beetroots, they're really rich in antioxidants, and they can really work well for us in terms of immunity provision and strength overall. Of course, we all know citrus fruits, lemon, oranges, mangoes, lemons, oranges, citrus fruits. They're all power sources of vitamin C, and really important for us in terms of our metabolism. We generally tend to do this a lot. I'm not sure how many of you follow through with this, but we generally drink a little glass of water added with few drops of lemon, either early in the morning or after a meal. Why do you think that is? We do that because we get vitamin C from our lemon, and it helps aid digestion. The vitamin C will act as a catalyst in our digestion process. So that's really important for us. Leafy vegetables, of course, minerals, calcium. You also get a lot of antioxidants from them, and it's again, leafy vegetables also act as catalysts in our digestion process. So it's really, really important for us to make fruits and vegetables our friends and the star players of our meal. I will talk about how do we distribute the plate. How do we make our plate a little more nutritious in my further slides. Water. One of the things that I have understood is that we drink lesser amounts of water. And if at all we do, we drink water with our meals. It's definitely a bad practice. What I would really suggest is drinking water, spacing out water intake at regular intervals of time. One. Second is not having water along with your meals, because that really affects the absorption and the absorption of vitamins, nutrients, and the energy uptake of the body. So, water are again your kidney's best friends. They help flush out the toxins from our system, and they help us stay hydrated, stay healthy. It's the winters. Often, most of us experience a lot of dry skin. Water is something that will really help us with our skin health as well. We should definitely aim at 10 to 12 glasses of water every day. Unlike the popular belief which says 8 to 10 glasses, which is, if I roughly translate it, each glass is about 200 ml. If I am drinking only 10 glasses of water every day, that's only about 2 liters. We generally suggest that, of course, this varies with person to person, and this also varies with age to age. But on an average, you should generally drink a minimum of 2.5 to 3 liters of water every day. That's really important for our system. It helps flush the toxins out. It'll help keep your gut system intact. It'll help with your motions. It'll also help with just maintaining a balanced kidney health overall. So water is freely available. Please drink filtered water. Please drink boiled filtered water, and that should really help you. Yes, the diet. Diet is something that we have criminalized, I would say, and the word itself is now started being using in a very negative manner. When we think about diet, we generally think it's more of eating only vegetables and eating only salads and eating only proteins. That's not how it is. A diet is rather a nutritious meal that you should be having, and while you're doing that, you should also focus on how you lay your plate out. If you see in my slide, it's very evidently and very clearly mentioned as to how your plate should look like. This is how the plate should ideally be divided. uh, think of your diet as just a very important part for your kidney and for your overall health. We should, like I said in my previous slide, we should opt for colorful meals, colorful fruits and vegetables for our meals. That's not only visually appealing, but like mentioned before, every color is also important in terms of antioxidant value or the mineral value or the polyphenols in general. So opting for a variety of fruits, a variety of vegetables is really going to help us. Uh, Opting for whole grains is really important these days. I mean, this year, the nutrition title or the the important nutritious food in for this year, the topic is millets. Millets are upcoming, and they have very high value of fiber, very high values of vitamins, minerals, and they're generally very beneficial in terms of diabetes care as well as kidney care. You should definitely opt for whole grains instead of refined ones, limiting salt intake, like I previously mentioned, limiting sugar intake, and processed food intake, like I previously mentioned. What is also important here is, contrary to the popular belief, when a patient comes to me with a kidney disease, with any stages of kidney disease, they tell me that they have been asked by so and so to stop eating proteins completely. Contrary to that, I would like to say that even if you have any sort of kidney problems, you should include proteins in your meals, including proteins in terms of lean proteins that would be meat, chicken, fish, or milk and milk products like milk, curd, paneer, egg whites, dals, lentils. These are all good sources of protein. Of course, the quantity and it all varies from person to person. However, it is really important to include protein in your diet. Protein is the powerhouse of your body. Protein is where all your energy is being stored, all your glucose, all your glycogen, all your the muscle mass basically of your body. It'll help provide immunity. It'll also help you with strength and overall body function. Really important to focus on eating a good protein diet. That could be proteins in any form, uh, proteins for every meal, really important here. This is a sample diet chart that I have provided here. If you see, every meal has some sort of carbohydrate, some sort of fiber, some sort of protein. This is a very generic everyday meal for everybody. This is something that everybody can do. Of course, the main components of it can change. For example, if you do not want to eat chapati and you want to eat jawar roti, fine, you can go ahead and opt for that. What is important, what is crucial here is to understand that eating some sort of protein, carbohydrate, healthy fats, and fiber in every meal is extremely, extremely important. I hope this slide is something that everybody would really appreciate, and this slide is something that everybody really looks forward to. When I meet people, they tell me, "Ek diet chart de do." This is the diet chart that you're really seeing. Yes, this is a very important topic. When we talk about kidney health, we are only talking about food or medication or hypertension or diabetes. That's the only thing that we generally discuss about. There are a few other things that could, one, aggravate your existing kidney problem, or something that could induce kidney problems. This is really important. Going beyond the plate, what is that? In order to maintain a healthy kidney, it is important to avoid enemas. Enemas, frequent use of enemas can cause electrolyte disruption and causing kidney stress. Considering, we can always consider gentler options for constipation solution, like including more fiber in our diet, like if fiber inducing dietary based fiber is not helping, you can always go to your physician, to your doctor, and consult with them and opt for gentler solutions that could help ease you out of your constipation. The other thing is, we generally tend to overdo a lot in terms of antacids. A little bit of acidity and you generally start popping the antacid tablets. That's also really dangerous, and you should absolutely avoid regular overuse of antacids, because they can cause mineral imbalance in your body and impact your kidney function. Another important thing is dyeing of your hair. We all like beautiful hair. We all like hair that is colorful, or maybe we don't like showing our grays. But trust me, gray is the new black. Uh, no problem continuing with your grays. In fact, continue with your grays. Chemical hair dyes have been proven to contain harsh chemicals that, when absorbed in the body, will cause kidney problems at a larger rate. So if you overuse chemical hair dyes, I know of a lot of people who come to me as patients, and they say that they've been frequently using hair dyes almost every week, which is dangerous for them, which could be one of the reasons why they're experiencing kidney problems. So to stay away from that, avoid using hair dyes. Use other options. There are multiple other options, or there are certain chemicals that should be avoided, and paradise or some dyes that are made without the chemicals. You can always opt for those. Painkillers. None of us like pain. A little bit of headache or a little bit of pain, we start popping in the painkillers like it's just a candy. And trust me, that is something that we definitely want to avoid. Frequent use of too much of painkillers in our system can cause damage to your kidneys over time, and that is something that we do not want. Maintaining healthy kidneys, you should always opt for painkillers under your practitioners, under your doctor's guidance, and only in prescribed amounts. It's really important to take a note of that. Another thing, one of the last things in this slide that I would want to talk about is alternative medications. Not all alternative medications are kidney friendly, and certain bhasmas and certain ingredients can definitely cause metal toxicity, and mindless popping of alternative medications, or any medication in that sense, would definitely cause kidney problems and definitely keep us away from maintaining healthy kidneys. This is something that I would want to really, I would want you all to really take a note of. And moving on, regular checkups. Now, it's not only about talking about kidney disease and how can we manage that. What is also important is prevention. Most of us do not suffer from kidney problems, and prevention is our ultimate goal, ultimate guide to early protection against kidney disease. How do we prevent our kidneys from getting any kinds of kidney problems? So one is being proactive, getting regular checkups, get regular urine tests, very crucial for kidney function. Through your urine tests, we're able to understand if you're experiencing any form of protein loss. That could be, an indication of an early stage of kidney disease. So getting annual checkups is really important. Meeting with your doctors is really important. Early intervention is all that makes the difference. You can at the first and the second stages of kidney disease, it's really in our control to not let it progress any further. And we definitely are able to manage kidney diseases better if it is detected at an early stage. And how do we detect kidney disease at an early stage? Only through annual checkups and routine blood tests and routine urine analysis. So that is something that I would really, really need to add here. And if not, if you're not already doing annual blood checkups and annual follow-ups basically with your doctors, you should start now. It's the new year approaching, and one of your resolutions should be doing regular annual checkups. Really important. Yes, this is one of my favorite slides here. Please do not confuse your Google search with my nutrition degree. You will get a lot of information online in terms of what should be done, what can be done, and what is to be avoided. While a part of it might be true, it also varies from individual to individual as to what might hold true for person A might not hold true for person B. That's solely because every individual is different, their medical needs are different, and what is shown on Google is not always correct. In terms of you may be reading on some unverified website and you may get all your information wrong. This is from personal experience that a lot of patients come in with wrong information, with while they could have come to us and asked us the right questions, they did not. They went ahead and Googled all sorts of questions that they had, and they came in with progressive kidney failure in the end. That is something that I definitely do not want in any of you, in any of my attendees today. So definitely do not confuse your Google search with my nutrition degree or any medical degree in that case. With this, I would like to hand over my talk to my attendees. If you have any questions, you can always mention in the chat box.
Great. Thank you very much. You have given us a very detailed presentation. You've been very candid about things. So I'm going to start taking questions now from people. Some of them have posted, some of them have WhatsApped.
In fact, I am able to read that.
So
I will start answering.
If you can just switch off your screen share, and I'll start with the questions. Great. So I'll go to the first question, which is from Apurva Mehta. He's not mentioned his age. And this question has been asked to various diabetologists who have come here. Is it okay for a diabetic patient to eat sweet mango? Let me ask you a supplementary question to this. How many mangoes can one have?
It's never enough, I feel. One is never enough. However, it also depends on how well you're able to space it. It's not just about the quantity here. It's also about how well you're able to space it. So, for example, one is a poison for many, but three is just not. So it depends from individual to individual. However, a general overall blanket rule here is, as a diabetic patient, I do not only look at you as a patient, I look at you as a human being with desires and with needs and with wants to answer, with wants to, satisfy. So one is, yes, you can eat sweet mango. However, it needs to be in a very disciplined manner. Discipline is really important here. Doesn't mean that, just because I've said you can eat a mango, it doesn't mean that you should be eating a mango every day. You can be eating a mango provided your blood sugar levels are under control. You can eat a mango if you are consuming one, let's say maybe one mango in 1 or 2 days is okay. And what is also important is to understand that if you are on insulin or if you are consuming very heavy forms of diabetic medications, it's fine to have one mango every day. However, managing your other foods along with that is also important.
Right. So that's a fairly, good answer for people, because
Yeah.
what you're saying is that you can have mangoes, you can have a mango, perhaps a little bit of it, but ensure that the rest of the food is in order so that you balance out everything.
Absolutely. Balancing is all the key here. It's all about a balanced diet. It's all about eating a well-rounded meal, including all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the grains, just a well-rounded meal that complements each other. Yeah, that is really important. Yes.
So you live in Mumbai, so is a bit of amras puri all right to have?
It's one of my favorite meals, so I can't uh, ask my attendees to not have it. Yes, you can. However, the store bought amras unfortunately is loaded with sugar and is only made out of papaya and mango. It's not entirely made of mango. So what I would suggest is making your own amras at home without adding sugar to that, and maybe one small katori of it should do just fine. Anyway, mango is there just for a few months, so let's not make it into an evil.
Great, thank you. There are a few more questions from Mr. Apurva Mehta. What
Yes.
nuts can be safely eaten by a diabetic, and what fruits are absolutely no good for a diabetic?
So, as a general overall rule here, we are looking at nuts. We mainly want omega-3 from our nuts. We want the good fats from our nuts. And the majority of the nuts that we use can be eaten in a small little bit portion. What is important to focus on eating almonds and walnuts. Very good source of healthy fats for us, and very good in terms of managing a healthy lipid profile, which in turn also helps us manage our blood sugar levels, control our blood sugar levels. Moving on to the third question, that is what fruits are absolutely no good for a diabetic. Here it all boils down to the glycemic index of the fruit. So again, just boon boon se ghat bharta hai is a saying that goes on. A little bit of everything is fine, but when you go ahead and eat a lot of it at once, that is something which is a no go. And what I would suggest is steering clear of too many bananas, too many chikus, sitafals, or any high glycemic value food like mangoes or even pineapples, grapes. They are to be avoided to a certain extent, of course, not to be overdone. Little quantity of that is just fine.
We have a question about which are the vegetables that are high glycemic.
High glycemic vegetables would include potatoes, would also include sweet potatoes, raw bananas. These are something which are high glycemic in value, and that is something that we would want to avoid. Yams, all the starchy vegetables, basically.
Thank you. We have a question from Mila Mehta, who asks, you mentioned about whole grains being very good. Kindly share your views on millets and their various advantages. As we know, 2023 has been the year of millets, and India has
Millets,
been very,
absolutely.
of course, in the fact of the matter is that in India, there are a host of people who have been having millets for forever, whether it
Yes.
is bajra or jawar or whatever, the bhakri that we have in Maharashtra is millet. So, but do you see that? Do you see, one of course is the response to the question, but do you see a movement around millets this year?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. In fact, the awareness around millets has increased so much. People are starting to notice the benefits of millets, and people are starting to incorporate them in their daily lives and are able to see that that has really helped them lower their blood sugar levels, that has really helped them control and manage their blood pressure levels much better. It also helps in losing weight. One of the most important things in our lives today is losing weight, and eating millets really helps us manage all of these in at a much better level. Awareness towards it has increased more, and hence people have started to incorporate it a little more in our diet. However, millets have always been there as a part of our integral diet. You go anywhere in any state that you go in India, you will definitely find some form of millet based recipes as a core meal in their just their diets. So, for example, you come to Maharashtra, you will find a lot of jawar bhakri. You will find a lot of jawar-based bhakri or nachni as a part of an integral part of our diets. Similarly, if you go up towards Gujarat, you will see a lot of people eating a lot of bajra, especially now in the winters. Bajra is very famous and very, very commonly used. So millets as a whole is really important for us. And eating whole grains by and large, including wheat, wheat is not a villain. That is something which is to be understood here, that along with millets, it's also important to eat a lot of wheat flour, of course, if you're not glucose intolerant, and gluten intolerant, sorry. And millets are important. Yes.
I'm just hiding out this image of this thing, but along with all of this, there are bajra chips, etc., that are
Correct.
there. Now these have entered the market, so obviously they are cashing in on the millet thing. But are these fine to eat? Because
Now,
they obviously have a lot of salt content.
Absolutely, and that's what it boils down to. You mention all sorts of things: baked, not fried, air popped. They come up with new terms every time. What they do not mention is the salt content. If you just read the nutrition label, you just need to turn your bottle around and read the nutrition label and see how much trans fat, how much sodium, and how much sugar is present in that particular bottle, or in that particular, because these packaged foods are something that you just can't stop eating at one. It wouldn't stop at one.
So
it would be really heavy.
The one which I have in my hand is per 100 grams is 379.5 milligrams.
Correct.
That's sizable. So clearly, it is. One needs to be careful about what one is having, right?
Absolutely. And it's all about managing your portions better here. And I am not against eating packaged foods. It's all about making healthier choices, reading the nutrition label correctly. They also tend to deceive us, the nutrition label makers. They tend to deceive us by saying, that so and so 30 grams is, they will write the volumes. I mean, they will write the nutrition information only for 30 grams. But do we really stop at 30 grams? Is the question here. It tends to look a little healthier when you look at it at 30 grams. But the question is, we need to ask to ourselves is, do we really stop at 30 grams?
As the headline says, no one can stop at one.
Absolutely.
Right. The other question which Mila Mehta has asked is, should one replace sodium with potassium salts, or generally decrease all types of salts?
It's a general overall idea to reduce your overall salt intake to about 4 grams. Now, salt of any type is okay. Salt of the normal iodized salt is does definitely have its own benefits. It will give you iodine, which normally our Indian diets lack. Iodine is needing to be fortified, and that is something that is really important for us. You can very easily stick with the iodized salt. If you want to continue with the potassium-based salts, pure salts, or any other low-sodium salts, fine with me. But what is also important is to understand is that all the other salts are generally more, they're less salty in nature. So you tend to put a lot more of it in your diet, in your meals, as compared to the iodized salt. So if you're able to manage your other salts, the potassium-based salts in the 4 grams, 5 grams range, it's fine by me. I am not against any other salt.
Right. Thank you. We have a question from Shamla Ravi, who asks, what is nephrotic syndrome, and what renal diet is best for nephrotic syndrome?
So nephrotics. So what are nephrons is something that we really need to understand. Nephrons are basically, I would say, the powerhouse of the major components of your kidneys, and that is the syndrome has to do with the non-functioning or less functioning of your nephrons, leading to lesser amounts of waste products. Now, what are waste products? Basically, waste products are the toxins that the kidney needs to eliminate from your body. However, because some part of your kidney is not functioning the way it should, it is being retained by your blood, and hence it shows up in your blood report. So, for example, your creatinine levels go high, or your uric acid levels go high, or your blood urea nitrogen goes high. That's all because the kidney is not able to move, to remove the toxins out of your body, and hence it is being retained. Now, in nephrotic syndrome, it is important. So here I will not be able to give you a personalized plan or a personalized opinion. I will have to look at the reports, and I will have to look at the case to understand it a little better. However, by and large, as a general rule, it is important to limit salt intake. If you do not experience swelling or you do not experience any reduction in your urine output, you can very easily consume 2 liters, 2.5 liters of fluids every day. You can also limit all the high potassium based foods, because with nephrotic syndrome, you're also at an elevated risk of an elevation in your serum potassium levels. So limiting high potassium based foods here becomes important. And it also is important to not discontinue using proteins in your diet. Proteins are really, really important. Like I said in my previous slide, eating sufficient amounts of protein becomes important here.
Absolutely. Thank you. We have a question from Mr. Narendra Shah, which I'm not going to answer because we've already given a precaution list in the past. And Narendra Bhai, the video of this session by Jill Parekh will be there on our website on Tuesday, Monday being a holiday. It will be there on Tuesday, along with the takeaways written by a medical practitioner. So you can please have a look at that. Those of you who may have missed out some of the finer details of the presentation, may not have made notes, it will be all there on the Seniors Today website. I'll just rush through the various other questions, look at only the critical ones. And I'm not going to look at medicines. So an anonymous attendee has spoken about minoxidil. Ekta Parekh, I'm sorry, you're just 46, so I'm not going to be able to take this question because this is meant for seniors. But there's a question which is there from here, and this is a question which is there from various people about vegetarian diet. Now, I'll give you the question from Mr. K. Suranayan, who's 71. He's experienced muscle cramps at night occasionally. Doctor has advised him not to stand and also not to walk very much. He's prescribed him to take even 400. He's taking this for some time. He also takes Telemi 20 for BP. Is consuming these two medicines affecting my kidneys? Mr. Suranayan, that you should speak to your nephrologist, but he has vegetarian and occasionally fish. The question which is there, he's not perhaps asked this, but there are other people who are asking questions about for proteins, eggs and chicken and fish. Chicken, can they be eaten? What other dietary and other precautions should be taken for somebody who's diabetic, who has hypertension? Mr. Suresh Ghate, 71. So an overall thing about veg and non-veg is what would be good if you could give that.
Absolutely, and it's something that really needs to be highlighted today. Is that vegetarian diet, contrary to popular belief, if taken in the correct manner, in the way it should be, is not devoid of protein. All my vegetarian friends can definitely stick with their vegetarian diets. What is important is consuming high biological value protein. If you do not consume eggs, which is actually supposed to be a very high biological value source of protein, you can make high biological value protein on your own. How do we do that? Now, first I'll talk about the non-vegetarian proteins, and then I'll move on to the vegetarian, because that's going to be slightly longer. Non-vegetarian proteins, egg whites, great sources. Chicken and fish, yes, can be consumed. Try avoiding try consuming or try focusing more on the lean meat here, because that is where the actual amino acids, and that is the fat-free part basically, and that is something which will be more readily absorbed by your body. Now, what is also important here is a lot of us go to the gym, and a lot of our gym instructors and a lot of our friends there tell us, if you are, for example, 60 kilos of weight, you should consume twice the amount of protein and have about 120 grams of protein every day. I do not believe in that. And in fact, what I also want to suggest here is that eating that much amounts of protein puts an additional load on your kidneys for it to be excreted out from the body. It is not so important to consume 120 grams of protein. However, if you're only able to consume 60 grams, but that 60 grams is first class proteins or is high in biological value protein that is more readily absorbed by the body, it is going to make a world of a difference, and that is going to be really helpful for us. Now, what do I mean by high biological value protein or first class proteins? Mainly proteins which are more or less complete in their amino acid profiles, proteins which would be more readily absorbed and absorbed by the body. What are those proteins? Like I said, egg whites, a great source. Lean meat, yes. Fish, yes. In the vegetarian diet, milk is supposed to be, like the second after egg whites. So milk and milk products would come second after egg whites as an amazing source of protein, high biological value protein. Lentils and grains, not so high in biological value, not such a high in terms of, not so high in range of amino acids. However, when you combine the two, I mentioned earlier about making your own first class proteins. Now, when you combine a grain and a dal, you tend to mix the amino acid profiles of both, and they tend to complement each other. So, a staple in most of our diets is khichdi, or a staple in most of our diets would be idlis and dosas. Basically, where rice and dal is being mixed, or where a grain and a dal is being mixed, that is supposed to be a very good source of protein, and that is really helping us in as vegetarians in terms of protein absorption and absorption. So that is one thing. Other thing is, there is a new research now that suggests that eating protein before you eat carbohydrates in your meals really helps in the absorption of it in your body. So that is something that is important. So for example, you sit with a plate, and you have dals and you have paneer, and then you have roti and sabzi. It is important to eat a little bit of protein before you eat your carbohydrates, and then you can eat your carbohydrates. Essentially, you can have your roti and sabzi. That way we're able to speed up the absorption of the protein in your body, and that makes it more important, and that is where protein becomes really important for us. So the takeaway here is the quality and not the quantity.
Absolutely. And to those of you who are vegetarians here, worry not. It's not that you're not going to be getting all the proteins. You will.
Yes.
You just need to be a little careful. There's a question which has been asked twice by Akhori Kumar. He says he's got 102 or 103 fasting food sugar. Is there any dietary precautions that he needs to take? I guess it's the same for.
Correct.
Is,
So yeah, sorry.
is there any dietary precaution that he should take?
Uh, I've already suggested about the same in my previous talk. 103 is not bad, is absolutely under control. If you are skeptical about you being diabetic, you should always get your HbA1c checked to understand whether, what is your blood sugar levels. HbA1c is an average of your blood sugars for 3 months. Get that checked. If it is above 6.5, you should go consult with your, endocrinologist and get your diabetes medications started.
Right. There was another question which was asked about goat milk versus normal milk. Is it something that you would like to flag off?
I'm not against any milk. I'm not against any dairy of that sort. Goat milk, yes. So every milk, that would include goat, cow, human, buffalo. Every milk has a different profile in terms of certain vitamins that they hold, and also the fats that they have. For example, you have buffalo milk and you have cow's milk. The saturated fats in buffalo milk is slightly at a higher level as compared to that of cow's milk. Similarly, in goat milk, it's not greatly different. Of course, the taste differs. If you like it, I am not against it.
But is it worth you know worth creating a hole in your pocket with buying A2?
If you can
Or
afford, otherwise, no.
all right, no, but is it worthwhile? Is it worthwhile to look at newer options like A2 that have come in the market?
So all buffaloes by default are actually A2. All buffalo milk that you get is by default A2. And you can really consume buffalo milk. I'm not against it. You can also consume A2 milk. There are certain breeds of cows. Again, it all boils down to the fat content of that milk. The protein not really, differs. It doesn't really greatly differ. It's just a very, very minute difference in the protein content. And it's not that one person will be consuming about a liter of milk every day, where it should really, in those volumes, it would start making a difference. However, as a general observation, we consume not more than 300 to 400 ml of milk per person. So any milk of your choice is absolutely fine. Shouldn't matter.
Thank you very much for this session. You've answered so many questions here, and your presentation was amazing. I'm going to pause let you think about it for a minute. This is our last session for the year, and this is the time when typically people have their New Year resolutions. Is there one or two or three resolutions that you think? And I'm going to stray a little bit from the topic of this session today. But what are the dietary resolutions senior citizens above the age of 60 must have? You can just give it off the cuff, but in the meantime, for all of you over here, this is the last session of this calendar year. We will be back once again on January 6th, 2024, with a session on constipation. This is the Constipation Awareness Month, and so we will be back then. As always, in the chat window, there's links to our pre-registration. And over to you, Doctor. From I know I'm sorry to have put you on the spot on this, but some off-the-cuff resolutions that you think people should have.
Just straying a little away from the diet and focusing a little more on something much more crucial is something that I have observed over the years is focusing on yourself. The number one resolution that you should have on that page or on that wall in their diary, wherever you, or up here, just wherever you make those resolutions, focusing on yourself, on your mental health, on your well-being. It starts from you. That's something that is really important, and that should be the number one. Number two would also, like I said, listening to what I have just said, incorporating that in your daily lifestyle, incorporating a low salt, low fat, high protein, a vegetable, fruit-filled diet. Eating balanced meal is something, not being too heavy on yourself, not making unrealistic goals. We tend to make unrealistic goals. I will lose 10 kgs in the first 3 months of 2024. You don't do that, and then all the other resolutions that have been written after that have just vanished into thin air. So making realistic resolutions, sticking to what is convenient for you, making better lifestyle choices, better lifestyle approaches, and firstly, the most important, like I said before, focusing on yourself. Making you as the main character of your life is really important. And that is something that I would like to, convey here.
Thank you very much. I think it's a great message that we must focus on ourselves while we worry about the world. Let's focus about ourselves. Let's focus about our health. At the Health Life at Seniors Today series that we've been doing, that we've been looking at various issues that concern all of you. So please keep watching and look up our archives, which are there on the website seniourstoday.in/webinar. As you know, we have the Evergreen Club app. You can download that, and there are a host of other sessions that we have. Jan 7th is the finale of season 13 of Seniors Have Talent, so you can have a look at that. And before you leave, and before I just hold our guest for a minute more, do have a look at our latest issue, Seniors Today, December 15th issue. I'm just going to request our producer to play that video, and I'll walk you through the video as well. So this is we asked one of India's best known cricket journalists, what if, so he's given a team, Kapil Dev, Surya Ali Khan Patoli, Gavaskar part of the team. You have to watch. December 15th issue. It's there on the website, seniorstoday.in. It's available free of cost. No conditions apply. You can just read, watch, enjoy. We are working on the January 15th issue right now. There's a host of interesting content over there. As you know, Seniors Today is also available through the week, Monday through Saturday. So you can subscribe to our content out there. Yeah, that's it. Remember once again, your Saturday, next Saturday is free. You don't have a Health Live session next Saturday. Don't have to worry about health, but worry as our guest today, Jill Parekh, has said, start worrying about yourself. Look at yourself, look at what we have, what you want to do. And we'll be back once again on Jan 6th with our next session of Health Live at Seniors Today. Thank you very much, Ms. Jill Parekh, for being here and for taking time out today. Thank you.
Thank you.